So today, on this third Sunday of Lent, we skipped back to year A for our readings today because it is a reminder to us as a community of faith that we are journeying with these people who are coming into full communion with the church, preparing for the Easter sacraments of baptism, confirmation, and Eucharist. And today we will pray with them the first scrutinies, inviting them to do the work that we are all continually invited to do. Scrutinize over where sin is in our lives and where we need to surrender that to allow God's mercy and love to come more fully into our lives. And so we will invite them to do that work. This reading that we have, and for the next two Sundays in a row, we will have these readings that go very well with this work of being to scrutinize our own selves and for them to scrutinize. Today we hear this story, this powerful story of the Samaritan woman at the well, who Jesus opens up to her the gift that he had come to bring the world. In the transformation we see happen within that conversation, how she opens herself up to believe. And it was then that belief that set her free. One of the lines, so many of us are doing this small faith-sharing groups, Live Lent Together. And one of the lines that I really honed in on as I prayed with this text with my group yesterday morning was the line where it says, if you only knew the gift of God, if you only knew the gift of God and who it is that is asking you for a drink, you would ask him for a drink. But more specifically, if you only knew the gift of God, then what? If we only knew that Jesus was the Savior of the world, right? If we only knew that, then we would probably be more affected by the things of this world, right? The war in Ukraine, the contempt that we have for one another in our world today. If only we knew. But we don't have any excuse, do we? That's what I scrutinize myself with this week. I know the gift of God that is offered to me. So why don't I do better? That's what I had to ask myself. And maybe some of you feel the same way. If only I knew the gift of God, then what? What would it lead us to? I think what Jesus is recognizing is that we will never fully know, we will never fully understand the gift here on earth. But this is what we're invited to continually receive. We're invited to continually understand more and more the gift that he comes to bring to us. And so then, how do we respond? We respond by doing this work. We're given opportunities each and every day, right? To come to know more deeply. Some suggestions, right? If you haven't joined a small group, dive into the readings yourself or invite some other people. You don't need to do this, officially with us, but to go deeper into the readings. Maybe choose somebody else in your family and say, let's do this together, okay? If you haven't done that yet. If you are doing it, continue to do that. Maybe come up here and just stand in front of this tree and come to know more deeply those things that are standing in my way. Oof. Cynical. Ouch. There's one. Inconsiderate. Wow, I didn't even consider inconsiderate. Greed, gossip, being critical of self. Oof. Yeah, okay, enough of that. But to spend some time coming to realize those things that stand in our way of more fully knowing the gift that continually comes to us, the gift of God that continually comes to us and strives to invite us to a deeper place in that intimacy that he desires for us. To come to realize that what happens at that altar is God's intimacy with us. His self pouring out to us over and over again so that we can have that intimacy with God, that we can know more deeply just how much he loves us. We understand, right, as human beings, we're tactile, right? We need touch, don't we? That was one of the things that was so hard during the pandemic. That was taken away from us. We had to distance from one another. But that touch, that intimacy that we long for, think about it. God provides that for us. He comes down into bread that we bring forward. And he comes to us so that he can be intimately united with us. If we only knew the fullness of that gift, we would probably do things differently in our lives, right? We'd probably see, how can I represent that more and more in my own life? How can I try to make a difference in a world that has a war going on? In a neighborhood where there are those who don't have enough, who have violence constantly in their lives, where there are children who don't have the same kind of opportunities that other children have. Let us continually look into our own lives and see, where are we being invited to see more clearly, understand more deeply the gift that God offers us, and then how we're called to respond to that as people of faith.